Okay. All right, so the monk here, Darrell's costume, is coming along really nicely. I'm waiting for a couple of parts to arrive in the mail to do a overall fitting and see how it all goes together. I'm gonna get started on Rogue, or Grenade Face, my Knight of Ren. And that's what I'm gonna start to dress this guy with. I don't actually have a plan at this point, but I will shortly.
Today, I'm going to finish up some of the soft armor parts and probably get to start attaching these pieces to the boots. And I'm going to be starting some painting and weathering on some of these armor pieces here.
Here's a difficulty I have with Rogue, in that his main tunic is this, this wrap of stiff fabric. It has a dimensionality to it. It has clearly a structure to it. I have some felt here, which is close, but it lacks the body. So I have some ultra thin auto carpet. This is like if you make a console for your pickup truck, this is what you'd coat it in. It's thin, but as a felt, it's actually quite dimensional. So I'm trying to build the structure of his tunic, and I may end up like gluing this to some of that gray felt to get the color right, but we will see. This is gonna be tricky. Ah, right. Oh, hey, so it's time to start attaching.
Yep. I think I'm gonna light coat these with a light coat of black spray paint, and then hit it with some silver rub and buff.
Yeah.
Just kind of weather it a little bit.
Totally.
And then attach them. But I'm just trying to figure out the placement of them, because it looks like there's more on top than the actual bottom.
It does look a little like there's more on top.
So if I put 3 on the bottom, it leaves me 2 extra ones. So I could put 5 on each at the top.
So I recommend pop rivets.
Okay.
Have you worked with pop rivets?
I haven't.
Okay. It's totally easy. Here's the pop rivet. That's the main pop rivet.
Okay.
And there's the pop rivet gun. And so you drill a hole in the back of one of these. Oh, I see that the infill makes it want to creep a little bit. We'd use a shorter pop rivet, these guys probably. And then, so the rivet is the rivet, and then there's a rivet head that sticks in the middle of it.
Okay.
So what happens is when you put this in the rivet gun, it pulls the rivet head through the rivet and expands it.
Got it.
Like that.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Ooh. Well, Lord knows where that went. So. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So you'd go from the back here, you drill a hole through the back and this guy.
Okay.
Right? And so what you might do is make yourself a hole here, put the drill through that hole and line it up with this and make yourself just a little witness mark so you can pull it off and make the 2 marks. And then from the back, I'd recommend both a backing plate and the rivet.
Okay.
So that what you'd do is you'd put it all the way through. And yeah, this should hold just fine if you do 2 rivets per or even 3 rivets per.
Okay.
And one of the nice things is once you've got one, you can now you've got it like secured so you can hold it and do the other 2 holes both at once and then do both of those rivets.
Okay.
All right?
Makes sense.
There is that, and there's your backing plates, and there we go.
All right, thank you, sir. It's coming together.
It's coming along a little bit. It's the drape is, that drape was drawn by someone who didn't have to build it. But yeah, slowly starting to figure out how this ought to go. I think. Oh, you found the rub and buff.
Yes.
Awesome. Here's an interesting one. Rogue here has this long tunic that cuts across his front, right? We understand that. And it wraps presumably around the other side of him so that this right shoulder is underneath the same tunic of fabric that covers his left shoulder. But there's a belt here. And this belt is coming from under the left side of the tunic and going around. So what happens to that belt? Does it go through the back of this tunic? Does it just show up somewhere in the middle? What? This is what I have to resolve. We'll get the shape right first, and then we'll worry about crap like that.
All right, let's see how this works. All right, so the key to this is I'm gonna have to put one on top and one like right almost in the middle towards the bottom, because when I put this one in, this piece almost, I heard it snap a little bit and it started to break right in the back here. So gonna put the rivets top, solder in the middle. That'll prevent it from breaking at the bottom.
There we go. So, yeah. So Harbor Freight sells one of these for like $40, and it's total POS. But if it turns out to be something that's useful for you, that's one to get. And then if you love that one of these, which is like a couple $100, is like, when I first made my toolboxes that are all riveted together, I did all those rivets with one of these.
Okay.
And the next day I went into work and I was showing one of my folks. I was like, okay, here's what I want you to do. Wait a minute. I like couldn't hold a pencil in my hand because the previous day I had done this so much. There was no more muscle in here. So yeah, this will save your butt for lots of rivets.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
I love that sound. I'm dealing with an older roll of black masking tape, so it's tending to deteriorate just a little bit, but black masking tape is my favorite. It's got the best sort of sticky and if it was a normal roll, I'd just throw it out because it's slowly dying, but because it's my favorite, I'm just gonna keep on suffering with it. There we go. Okay. So this actually could be kind of cool. The belt through half of the tunic would mean that I'd end up with a hole here for the belt. And I could make it a nice armored hole. I could take a couple pieces of aluminum and pop rivet them on either side so the belt's coming out of something. And specifically so that he's got protection for his left side, but the lightsaber is available on the right. So, this design. I also widened the bottom of the cape by adding a long triangle to the back of this pattern. And I feel like I'm a lot closer to something I like here. So I think the next stage is to cut this out of my big piece of carpet and see how it lies. I mean, there's not a square edge on this thing, and these two holes are different sizes, but that kind of feels right. Pattern transfer time. Oh, whew. I was afraid it wouldn't fit on one sheet, and then I'd have to do it twice or scab on an extra sheet, but it looks like it fits. Awesome, awesome. I think what I'm gonna do here, this is the inside, yeah, this is the inside of the pattern. I think I'm gonna glue my gray felt to this stuff first. I'm gonna have all the dimensionality that I need. And then I am going to cut it out. That way I don't have to, yeah, that's definitely the better way to do it. Okay, so you can rest up, go over there. You will stick better on this side than that side. So that would be the inside and this would be the outside. Good, okay. There it is. The fact is that rolling flat things onto flat things, gluing flat things to flat things is really weirdly difficult. And I roll. Yeah, okay. I'm a little terrified because I'm about to spray some glue all over my pool table. I think I've protected everything. I'm just making sure. If I end up with one wrinkle in the middle of this, it's gonna drive me absolutely batty. So just going slowly. Here we go. I'm gonna go across like this. Man. Okay. My pattern has been successfully transferred to my 2-layer cloak material, which is lying really nicely. I'm very pleased with its gesture, right? It's given me that the drawing has, and so now it's time to kind of really finalize this. So I'm going to add the darts here with some Velcro underneath so that can hold. Then I think I might add a dart under here that gets hidden by the closure here, but allows the belt to come around. There's still a few things to kind of work out, but I'm a lot closer.
So what I'm doing is, these pieces kept breaking when I was riveting them into the actual boots themselves. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting pieces of this aluminum, and I'm going to epoxy it to the back of the actual greebles, and then I will give it some strength so that it doesn't break, and then rivet them onto the boots. Like, it cuts perfectly.
The whole thing about fitting one of these is that I'm fitting a material that makes simple curves. That is, it's a flat material, and I'm trying to cover a body, which is all compound curves. And the aesthetic of this plays around with those two things, and I want to get it right. Okay, so let me see if I can. Well, let's try a little bit more. If you're gonna hot glue pieces of cloth together, it's really good to squeeze it as it's setting so you really work the hot glue into that fabric. Then it's gonna hold really nicely. Such a happy sound. I'm taking time to make the collar here because if I glue the collar and somehow the upper part of this tunic doesn't sit right, and I haven't accommodated for that, I'm trying to take care of each step I know is right before I move on to the next one that I'm gonna try and figure out is right. If I try and get too many steps ahead before I've solidified some things in the past, then you can end up in a situation where you're like, everything seems to work, but the moment you start to glue it together, it all starts to fall apart, like things buckle where you didn't expect. So I'm just trying to proceed methodically. Other funny thing about gluing fabrics together when you're using like fabrics that can have some insulating properties is that you can end up getting in trouble with those insulating properties. They can keep the glue from setting for a little while, and then you gotta, yeah. Because they're holding the heat in, you see. Okay, so. Here's why I'm taking this methodically. When I first drew this line, it was on my body, it was a couple of inches back here. But now it's moved now that I've done all of this. So that's why I'm moving methodically. So I didn't cut that hole until I knew where I wanted it to be.
All right, so I'm getting ready to add some, as a reference point,
Some what?
some scratches.
Oh, yeah.
So Kylo has some pretty heavy damage to his helmet, so I'm gonna add some to this one. And just take a Dremel TID, and then, what do you suggest for like something like this?
For something like that, you could even try almost a blowtorch.
Okay.
You know, you could try, I don't know how Bondo would respond to that. You could also try just taking a big old, you could use one of these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, you could go in and carve it out and add a little Bondo to dress it,
Cool.
you know?
All right. All this work.
It's hard to damage it, isn't it? I'm like, you can mark it out in pencil so you kind of know where you want the full amalgam of dents and scratches to be.
That's what I'll do first before I. Inside of this helmet black to get rid of this yellow, and then we'll start painting the outside of it. On the reference pictures, doesn't look 100% black, so that I think I'm going to hit it with a base coat of this, and then lightly dust it with some matte black, and that should give me the color I'm looking for.
All right, damage. Oh, that looks great.
Thank you.
That's nice how it goes into the infill.
Thank you.
I think you need more scratches.
You think
though.
so?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Like,
I didn't want to overdo it.
I know, but Kylo's
I
beat
know,
to
his
hell.
own's-
I mean, maybe he should be, but I mean, all these guys should be, you know, they're
Really?
yeah, what
Okay.
they're, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely some more.
But maybe the pebble texture is first.
Okay.
Because the scratches would have gone
Over that.
over that.
Got
So
it.
let me show you about how to do that. I'll be right there. So he's wet, right?
He should be almost dry.
So what it is you hold it down very lightly
Okay.
and you let it do that business all over. And then hit it with a blow dryer, and then do it again. And then hit it with a blow dryer, and then hit it with a little primer. And you'll see, you start to get that.
Cool.
Now some of these are little bubbles of
Okay.
glue, which tend to go away, which is why you want it to dry completely before you hit it with primer.
Okay.
But that's exactly how we do a pebble texture at ILM.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little spray 77, and it takes a little bit of a feel, because if you do like that, it just goes on. I mean, that's not bad, but you get more pebbly if you go really lightweight.
Okay.
And then if it's too much, you just sand it back down a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It stops being sticky after another few minutes.
Okay.
But you can also like hit it like that so you get rid of all those bubbles. Yeah. And you'll have that feeling of the 77 on your forearms. You know that when it sits in the fucking. Okay. Oh, I've got this interesting dilemma, which is clearly the belt covers half this tunic and not all of it. But from a movement standpoint, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
This thing's never gonna fall like that unless it's got the stiffness to it. But if I try and wrap a belt around this whole portion, I end up with all this shit. But then as I bunch this up, I'm like, oh, that's actually not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if there's like belt buckle here and a lightsaber here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, and the belt comes around and I've got like, clearly I think he's got some other kind of shit here that's important, you know,
Yeah.
like little Jedi shit. Sorry, Sith shit. Can't mix up your Jedi and your Sith shit. So I'm just really trying to see like if I can add a dart here or put a, yeah. So I just keep having to cut into this and kind of feel it out.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, if I do a belt from here to here, and I use a nice big fat belt, like I get some black, actually that's the next step. I'm gonna cut a hole in the back.
Do a belt.
And I'm gonna try the belt and see how it works. Here we go.
Looks good. I like the texture.
I know. This
That
really,
is
it's like
neat.
it's starting to really feel, you know, like the thing, and it's got this bit and this. Like I'm super happy with all of this aspect.
What are you gonna do for the sleeves?
I think I'm gonna go with this stuff.
Okay.
So this is from my previous Kylo, and I think this is perfect. And I'll make them a little long so they bunch up a little bit. But so like that's gonna be the sleeves.
Cool.
You know, I'll make them a little wide so they bunch and come down into the vambraces.
Okay.
But I think this was a nice texture to it. Am I still thinking that's a nice? Yeah, I like this texture.
Nice.
And I've got 2 large chunks of that stuff. All right. Time to make a belt. This is chunks of my old Wookiee bandolier. I love that I just got to say that sentence. All right, belt. Let's cut that down. Okay. Oh. Yep. There's the belt buckle. Got some kind of Jedi numb thing I could stick on there. Just got it a few weeks ago. It's called a leather skive, and it is specifically for taking leather that's thick and making it thinner. Here's the skive. It's got this sharp blade there, held in orientation, and when I want to make something a little bit thinner, because I want to string it through, yep. Okay. If I have a lightsaber here, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
No, even the back looks okay.
Yep. And that side falls right.
This side falls right, and that's kind of, I mean, it's all about the pose. Like, I walk around and look like an idiot with a hot dog in my hand, but someone says, take a picture, and you're all like, and then you give them the look. I haven't worked on the look yet.
Nice.
Sith has something coming out of their coat like a belt, they're gonna have some sort of extra bit of protection for it. So I'm adding to the narrative. Ow! I just pinched myself in the man boob. Jesus, that hurt. Ow! Well, at least it was a manly injury. Oh! When you need 4 rivets, always grab 5. When you need 3 screws, always grab 4. You're never gonna be unhappy that you have extra. This actually happened on the show once. Jamie was like, Tori Fink, can you grab me 4 quarter 20 bolts that are 1 inch long? And I said, you need 4? And Jamie said, yeah. And I said, Tori, grab him 5 or 6. And Jamie was like, no, grab me 4. And so Tori went back to the shop and came back and handed him 4. And Jamie was like, all right, here we go, ding, 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 ding. And then I dropped it. So Tori had to go back and get another one. I was all like high-fiving myself. It was fabulous. All right, so you're gonna see the front of this belt. I thought I should decorate this belt a little bit. So I'm gonna add some detailing to it. So this is a tool specifically for creating a hole where you can sew. So it makes the leather thinner, but it also does really nice for adding little border details.
That's neat.
So then I can adjust the depth of that and do a second line and just add a little bit of extra detailing. Wow. A little more storytelling.
All right, so I'm gonna take a nice slow approach to this. I'm gonna heat up the plastic and then make an indent to make it look like something heavy hit this helmet. So we'll see how it goes.
Little toy I found will be the little bit of like Sith gear on my belt, but the Lego pips, I know it's not officially Lego, but the little toy pips are really killing my Sith buzz, so I'm removing them. My Sith buzz. That's a great name for a craft beer. I think Will Wheaton should get on that. Cool. You know what, dude? I may try an old Kylo arms on this.
You wanna do that?
Yeah.
I think that'll work.
This is from my first Kylo costume from Etsy. So let me see how this looks. Oh, I'm so happy with this tunic.
Nice.
Right? Like, yeah, man. I'm kind of oh, wow. Right?
Yep.
Like this too is really helping. That's a nice bit of texture.
Yep. And if you look at the reference picture, he sort of has something.
Yeah, he
like
does.
that.
He's got a wrap. It looks
Yeah.
like a wrap, but since you've got a wrap going on underneath yours, I think that's actually kind of nice. Belt up here. My belt thing on top. Width's coming along.
Sweet.
He's starting to look like something.
Yes.
And I'll put a little lightsaber right there. It's starting to come together.
Looks great.
Yeah. Oh, that is fabulous. I think I'm gonna have to hit this with some spray paint.
Okay.
To kind of bring the gray down.
Okay.
All your textures are working really nicely. Oh, right. I got to get some Velcro on there for you.
Okay. Now I can weather the bottom here too.
Yeah. So
Cut it
yeah,
up.
I could sew that as a hem, or we could cut it and make
Actually, if you look at the reference picture, it's
Oh,
pretty.
That's awesome. Then what you want to do is probably cut it so that it has some nurnies and flyaway stuff, and then hit it with some PVA glue like an Elmer's.
Okay.
Because otherwise, this stuff is so open weave, you could just undo it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that would be bad. I wanted to be a little farther along at this point. We're at the end of day 2, but it's actually going. I'm really pleased with how it's going. The boots look amazing.
Thank you.
Dude, oh man. You're like already kind of excited about getting the weather and the silver.
I can't wait. And then yours has some texture on it as well, and then we're gonna do some weathering and
Give me a big old
dents. I think we should be on our way.
This is awesome. All right. Have a good night.